And what's up, everybody? Welcome to a random juice video. I think I did one of these before. I can't remember exactly what I called it, but this is just going to be me. I got some things on my mind. The podcast isn't happening this week because we just talked about the Switch on Thursday for like 2 hours and 20 minutes or whatever. So I'm just going to do a short little video. I don't have the live chat up or nothing. It's just going to be just some random thoughts of mine. Because I'm going to go watch last night's episode of The Walking Dead and then catch up on some other shows. So it's kind of like my night off, but I'm still doing something. So first off, I don't want to start a DC versus Marvel fanboy thing here. So I don't really, the comment section below, just probably don't leave it because I'll probably delete it. But watched Civil War again recently, Captain America, and I just want to ask because I'm not a fanboy of either one. I just like to see good movies, so I'm not loyal to one or the other. But I just got to ask to the people who were criticizing Batman versus Superman's plot and Lex Luthor's plan being, ridiculous and so many things needed to happen, and you can defend Civil War. Like, I mean, I like Batman versus Superman. The extended cut I thought was better and helped fill out some of that. But watching Civil War, like that plot, that the villain, his plan was just ridiculous. I know Honest Trailers hit on it perfect. It's like 100 things had to happen that couldn't have been predicted. Like Lex Luthor's plan, there was a few things that he couldn't have foreseen. But Zemo from Captain America, I mean, what a lame ass villain anyway. But his plan is just so ridiculous. I mean, I'll just name a few things that jumped out more the second time. First off, Tony Stark getting the lady who came up to him after his presentation at MIT saying that this is spoilers for anyone who hasn't seen it, giving him a guilt trip about her son that died during Age of Ultron. Like, there's no way this dude could have known that Captain America and Iron Man would have any beef at any point. And then, like, his whole plan's based upon, like, creating a rift between them. There's no way he would have known that lady was going to say that Tony Stark was going to be on a different side than Captain America. I mean, that's, like, the biggest one. And then, like, knowing that they were going to capture the Winter Soldier alive and then have some doctor, psychiatrist talk to him. Like, they did mention that some Hydra files got leaked in Winter Soldier and stuff, but he wouldn't have known they were going to have a psychiatrist talk to the Winter Soldier and who it would be. Like, there's just so many stupid little things. Like, the movie's an entertaining film. The acting performances were good. There's some pretty good lines. Spider-Man's funny in the movie and some pretty cool fight scenes and stuff. But I mean, just for anyone that like bashes Batman versus Superman but praises Civil War, I just find that absolutely ridiculous, because to me both movies, and I think Batman versus Superman is actually a little less guilty of the villain's plan being so dependent on things happening that they couldn't have predicted. So, like I said, I don't want a Marvel versus DC going on in the comments or anything. I don't have the live chat open, so I don't know what you guys are saying, but just watching that movie, it's like, yeah, it's a pretty good movie, but it's just so ridiculous. The plot to me is so ridiculous that I just can't believe that people would defend that and call out Batman versus Superman for basically the same thing, but not, in my opinion, not as bad. So just think that's funny. And but Civil War is a great Blu-ray, video quality, sound quality, everything's really good, and it's worth a second viewing. I don't think I'll ever really need to see it again, to tell you the truth. But anyway, so now on to some gaming stuff. Like I said, random juice, so you get random thoughts. Let me just throw this idea out there, and you guys react to it in your minds. All right, so I'm in a podcast, and they announced the PS4 Pro, and I'm like, really cool thing Sony can do now is they can just release the PS4 Pro, the system, and without the controller, the power cords, the charging cable for the controller, just the system itself, and you can just upgrade your console without having to buy everything else. You know, you'd probably think I sound absolutely stupid, and you'd be right, because that would be stupid. Because what's a controller and some cords going to cost? You know, $50 max off the sell price. So I've been hearing this, and I'm just dumbfounded by how many people are running with this thing about the Nintendo Switch. Well, Nintendo can just release a higher powered tablet in a couple years or a year that has better specs, and you know, people don't have to buy the whole thing. And I talk about this on the Active Gamer Life Active Topics EX episode. The tablet is the console. The only thing you're not getting is the dock for the Joy-Cons and the dock for the console. Like, what do you think that's going to save you? Like, oh wow, now I don't have to pay for the dock and the controller holster. I mean, assuming, like, a lot of people are just assuming the dock has a CPU and GPU. I don't think it does. $50. Like, I would think it's about the same amount of value. Like, you're still buying a brand new console. You're still upgrading. Why do you want to upgrade the Switch? Why are you talking about upgrading the Switch already? Like, to me, that's silly. And it's like, that makes no sense. So now you got to transfer all your stuff, and now you have this old Switch tablet that what are you going to do with? You can give it to somebody, you're going to trade it in. Now there's all these tablets that are out of date now, and then you go into the store, and now there's just the tablet, and then there's the tablet with the dock and the Joy-Con holster. Like, you're like, if a kid's mom's going to go buy that for him, that's not going to confuse people. If someone's going to accidentally buy the whole tablet, like, to me, that makes zero sense. It's the same as just selling the PlayStation 4 console without a controller and the cables to hook it up. Like, I just don't get that. I don't understand how just because it's a tablet now, it's something easily replaceable. And I don't know what the Switch is going to cost, but I'll tell you right now, the tablet's 90% of the price, at least. If it's $300, the tablet's $250. I mean, they're not gonna sell it for less, especially a more powerful version. Like, and why are you so excited about buying a more powerful version already? Like, I just don't get that. Nintendo has a patent for a supplemental computing device that can it could be a little cube and just plug into your dock that you already have, your tablet. You don't have to replace anything, but for $150. We're talking about, for the people that care about power, if you're talking about keeping up with the PS4 Pro and the Xbox Scorpio in the future, Nintendo has the patent. They patented that technology for a reason. That makes so much more sense. So now you don't have to buy a new tablet. You don't have to transfer your data. You don't have to worry about getting rid of another one. There's not all these old obsolete ones out in the wild. You don't have to mess with anything. You just plug in this little cube, this box, and it boosts your Switch by 30%, 40, whatever it does, 20%, and it's only for a home console. Obviously, your screen's what, 720p probably. Games are going to look good on that. Like, boosting that isn't going to matter as much for the portable side. And then, like I said, it makes no sense for them to do that, because you're mixing the market up. If someone just wants to add a little power and they got the supplemented computing device that's whatever the size of a not solid state, but an external hard drive or something, plug in with some USBs or whatever, maybe it has a special port, and you just get a boost when you're playing at home, or maybe you could plug it in on the go. I mean, we don't know, but to me that makes so much more sense. You can sell this thing as it's an accessory. It's easy to identify. No one's going to mistakenly buy just that instead of the Switch console. And you're not going to have somebody going to the store not knowing which Switch, and then you got the old one, you got the new one, you got the more powerful one. To me, that's the problem with the PlayStation Pro. The Scorpio is going to have it. Just be happy you're getting a new system. You're already thinking about more power, and if you're going to think about more power, think about that patent, because that makes just infinite more sense than replacing your tablet and all that would come with that. And now you got to use tablets out in the wild, and you can trade it in. I mean, what are you going to do with it? It makes no sense. Oh, you could give it to somebody, you can play games on it still. I mean, you're going to have two tablets, like, in one dock. It just makes no sense to me. I just can't believe how many people were running with that idea, and like it's such a good idea. It's not. I tell you right now, it's not going to save you hardly anything because the majority of the price I would be willing to bet is in the tablet. So there's that, and I'm sure some people will try to counter that. But for me, there's absolutely no counter to it. There's absolutely no counter. So it'd be like me, instead of buying a new graphics card, I can just buy a new tower with everything. Like, it's not, buying a new tablet wouldn't be the same as like buying a graphics card for my computer. Like, to me, the supplemented computing device would be like buying a new graphics card. And I don't even want to worry about that. I just, hopefully when you get the system and it does everything fine in 60 frames per second, I have a feeling that's going to be standard on the thing for Nintendo games. Maybe 30 on some bigger graphically intensive games or something. But yeah, the other thing is, and this came up in the AGL Active Topics EX episode, and Ms. T was talking about how, because it's a mobile device and stuff, people will want to download games. And I was just saying that I think Nintendo is going to try to push the game cards way more than downloads. I'd be shocked because there's leaked rumor specs or whatever that it's 32 gigs of internal memory in the system. But even if it's 100, 250, 500 gig, I mean, it's a tablet. I've never seen a tablet that much, but let's say it's 128 gigs. And so what? You're going to download, instead of buying game cards, you're going to download, let's try to think, what's a game, Red Dead Redemption 2, that's going to be 50 gigs, 40 gigs at least. The Xenoblade Chronicles, that game is probably going to be 20, 30 gigs. And it doesn't matter. You're not going to fit your entire library on there. Well, you say, well, you just could buy a couple digital, whatever. And then Meza T was trying to say, well, you hook an external up to the dock and you can just, you're going to be on the go. You transfer some games to the tablet for temporary use. And I'm like, you're going to be transferring 30, 40 gigs. And then, obviously you're not going to need 10 games if you're going to be on the go, but wouldn't it be way easier just to have 10 little game cartridges in a little sleeve on your carrying case to have all your games with you? Like, I just don't think Nintendo is going to push for the digital, and the 3DS did it, but the games are like 1 to 2 gigs and you can get an SD card 64. I don't know how many the new 3DS, I don't know what the max SD card is that it can take, but it's 32 or 64. That's a lot more practical than putting 30, 40 gig installs. Nintendo games will probably be, most of them will probably be 10 or under, 15 to probably 8 to 15 gigs or something. But it just, to me, makes no sense to, you hook up an external hard drive and then you're going to transfer a couple games, let's say for a trip, that process isn't going to be super efficient or fast. And, maybe that is their solution. But to me, like I said, I think they're going to push the game cartridges as the main thing. Like, I think the digital push is going to go for Nintendo, is going to go down. And maybe I'm completely wrong, but it's just so hard to think that you're going to have enough memory in this tablet with room for everything else, to have your full game library be digital. And then, like I said, you hook up an external to the dock, and then you have that problem. Well, not every game is going to fit, so you pick and choose. You might not have the game you want with you, and plus, if the game, I don't even know if you can hook up an external, because the way let's say you're playing Breath of the Wild, all right? Assuming there's digital versions, all right, if it's on your external running off your dock, what happens when you lift the tablet up? You'd have to know in advance that you're going to get interrupted and have to take it with you and have it installed and transferred to your internal memory of the tablet. So it doesn't really make sense from the way that it works to even have an external hard drive support. So it's going to be very interesting to see how they handle that. Maybe it's cloud-based, but then you have to be in a good Wi-Fi spot. I doubt there's going to be 4G on the thing. So there's just a lot of problems that the digital side of gaming brings to the surface when you have this multiple device that's a portable and a handheld. So just something I've been thinking about. I thought about it before the system was announced when I said that there might be two versions of the NX, where I said there'd be a handheld and a home console. Then digital games was a problem, because how do you have them on both devices without like having a problem with somebody could give their tablet to somebody else and they have two games. So I really think that's a problem, and I'm sure Nintendo has a solution. I just don't know what it is, but my guess is that digital games is not a big push for the Nintendo Switch. I mean, because the cartridges look very small, and the way that you just dock it and the game's instantly on your TV and you pull it away, I don't see how the dock could have storage or how an external hard drive would work. You pull the tablet off, I guess it could say place back down or something. Maybe there's a button you can press to quickly put a portion of the game. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. So those were some of the things I've been thinking about. And also, just in case people didn't know, the Nintendo said that, just because the game was shown in that trailer, they were just trying to show how the system works. And it doesn't mean that that those games are in development and this and that, just typical PRBS. They couldn't confirm any of the games, but come on, Breath of the Wild is. They could at least pointed that out. And that Mario game wasn't just thrown together. That's not a pre-existing Mario game, so that's a new game. Maybe the basketball game isn't going to be 2K. Maybe it doesn't. Who knows? But I think that's a little funny that they're just trying to say, well, that doesn't confirm anything. Well, why don't you just pick some games that you could confirm without it being such a big deal? Because we already know Dragon Quest is going to be an NX game, and Just Dance. I mean, Just Dance would have been terrible, but just put some games on there you could confirm them, because that's just ridiculous. Now, if Skyrim doesn't come on the system, then it's like, well, why'd you choose that game? That's false advertising. That's going to be a lot of big blowback there. I think people would be upset. I'd be happy if that Mario Kart was just something thrown together to put on there, and then, because I want a full new Mario Kart. I don't want to see the Mario Kart 8 layout. I want it to be a brand new game. I don't want to just be more Mario Kart 8 with maybe some new tracks and a new character. I want a full-fledged new game. I don't want to just play Mario Kart 8 again. I already have 260 hours into it. I don't really want to put any more into that game. And then the Splatoon, like, you're going to enhance Splatoon to the point where you add different hairstyles, pants, and in a kind of a new way they pop up, new camera angle, and obviously a new map. Like, that's not Splatoon 2. Like, the people that are just saying these are enhanced ports, maybe it's true, maybe it isn't. I think that's absolutely stupid. I think that's a missed opportunity. People, you get Splatoon 2 out by holiday 2017. That's good enough. You don't need a Splatoon 1 enhanced port. That's time they could have been spending on the sequel. I think they could get the sequel out by holiday 2017. And Mario Kart, I'd wait 3 years for the next one. I mean, Mario Kart 8 gave me so much enjoyment. I don't need a new one right away, but they might be thinking of the people that didn't buy the Wii U. But I say, fuck those people. They can buy a Wii U when the price inevitably goes way down. Another thing, I'm not 100% sold that I'm not playing Breath of the Wild on my Wii U. Like, I don't know. Taking it on the go, to me, adds almost nothing. So, and plus, that Pro Controller looks so nice. I just don't see myself using the Switch tablet on the go and playing Breath of the Wild. Like, to me, that I'm not 100% like I'm buying the NX version, and I'm not really I'm a little concerned it's not even going to be close to a launch title. They just keep saying 2017. So the only thing it would, if it come out like November 2017 or summer, then I'm probably going to have my Wii U packed up. And so I don't know, but other than just being portable, I don't know I need to see what the improvements are, what the benefits of the NX version are. And then I could say, yeah, I'll get the NX version over the Wii U version. But right now, I know the Wii U version has gyro control, so that's an advantage. They haven't confirmed the NX has gyro, so I don't know why that would be a big deal to not. They should just let us know one way or the other right now. I don't see why that's something that's got to be kept secret. Also, the footage from the trailer has been confirmed to be added in post. If you guys listen to the Game Explain interview with one of the guys in the commercial, there was nothing on the screen ever. So all that footage, and for anyone that said, "Oh, that Breath of the Wild on NX, that's, look how vibrant and good it looked," that was, maybe it was the NX version, but that was just added in post. That wasn't running on the system. So the frame rate stutter and whatever, I never saw it. I never saw what people were talking about, but all that stuff was added in post. So that wasn't a off-screen switch footage of the games running on the tablet, just in case anybody didn't know that. And I had one more thing I was going to talk about, and I forgot. Oh, yeah, the potential IR sensor on one of the Joy-Cons. I think it'd be a cool idea. And then the system has some IR infrared lights on the screen or whatever, but that ain't going to work for everybody. You'd have to put the system in a specific spot. We'll have to wait and see. But I think Nintendo should clear up a few misconceptions. I don't know why waiting till right before the system comes out. Like, I don't need exact specs or anything, but just say, hey, there's gyro in the controller. There's this, and this. And there's no reason not to give us a little more information in a couple weeks, 3 weeks, a month, and just to pique our interest again. So yeah, this is going to be it for Random Juice. And like I said, I'm going to watch The Walking Dead, last night's episode. Heard it was pretty good. And we'll be back on Juices Loose podcast on Halloween. So look for that. And yeah, so have a good night, and we'll see you in the next video.